Hi Stampers, welcome back. Well, this week we've been using the amazing Softly Sketched stamp set, known for its special texture on the little images and the heartfelt sentiments. Really a nice stamp set. So let's do a little recap. On day one, we created a simple yet elegant card, simply stamped, with the Oh Holy Night Designer Series paper in the background. And then it was all about multi-layering, all these different layers we did for our grape theme card, where I showed you how to pop the color using watercolor pencils in a lighter shade. So this was garden green, and then we did granny apple green with the watercolor pencil, but no water. Plus I showcased various colored grapes and with a similar layout, and that gives you so many different creative options. So here's Gorgeous Grape. These are on the note cards. And Cherry Cobbler, and Starry Sky, and Blackberry Bliss. Then on day three, we got a little sophisticated with the little soft and delicate card featuring the gold embossing and also the distressed embossed texture. So two types of embossing on one card. That really added an extra wow factor. I love this card. And now for our final day, I have something exciting. I'm so excited. A fun project using the grape stamp, and it's a wine label. Perfect for gift giving and expressing gratitude. Isn't that nice? Oh, I can't wait to make this with you guys. So let me bring in my supplies. Doesn't take a lot of supplies. I'm using Mossy Meadow, Very Vanilla, and Gorgeous Grape. So if you'll notice, we have my favorite little die cut pieces here, and that is from the die set Country Corners. You know, I use that all the time. And then these little circles here, I'm going to show you that. Those circles came from the Give It a Whirl die set. There's so many dies, and there's 21 dies in here. So these are the two little circles that I used. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But this die set makes the Give It a Whirl card, so you can twirl it and see your little stamped images behind it. You know, one of those fun cards. Hope to do that with you guys soon. But it's got lots of clouds and hearts and stars and little rectangles and even a little sentiment backdrop there. So anyways, lots of opportunities, lots of ideas with the Give It a Whirl die set. Okay, so let's get started. So I will have all the measurements on my blog, so don't forget about that. That's Stampin'shout at blogspot.com. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to score this piece. So this is 2 3/4 by 8 1/2, and I'm going to score it at 2 1/2. And I'm just going to give that a little crease. And now I'm going to bring in that little circle die, and I'm going to go cut this circle out right in the center of the small flap right there. And I have a scrap of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to use the other circle, and I'm going to cut a circle out with that pretty scallop. So I'll be right back. Okay, so that cut the little circle out, so this will fit over our wine bottle. And I have the little scallop cut out too. That's going to go right there. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to bring this small piece in. And again, on my directions, I will let you know what die sizes these are. I believe this one is die 3 and this one is die 4. But that'll be on my blog, so you don't have to worry about that. So let me bring in a scrap and we'll stamp our grapes. And I'll stamp them in Gorgeous Grape. So I have a question for you. I'm curious to know. When you see a stamp set, or what type of stamp set, do you just go, oh my gosh, I got to put that on my wish list, or even I got to have that stamp? Like, what image does it for you? For me, I'll tell you, it's Christmas trees. I love Christmas trees. And probably the next 8 choices would be Christmas themed, you know, like stockings and Santas and all that Christmas themed stuff. I love it, love it, love it. But if I wasn't going to go with the Christmas theme, I would have to say grapes. And I don't have a lot of grapes. So I really, really loved this softly sketched grape. I thought it was really cool looking. So anyways, I'm just curious, what images do you really like and have to have? Okay, so here, this is how we're going to do this. This is kind of fussy, kind of fun, but I'm going to take my grape stamp, and I can see just by looking at the image here on the back where I want the purple, the gorgeous grape ink to go. And this one's pretty easy to do. So I am going to go ahead and lay it on my gorgeous grape ink pad. And I don't have the leaf part on there, just the whole, all the grapes. And I'm going to ink it up. Okay, then I'm going to bring in a little Q-tip. And I did get some of that gorgeous grape ink on the leaf. I'm just going to wipe it off with a Q-tip. Then I'm going to bring in the Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to bring in a sponge dauber, and I'm going to ink up my leaf. And the best way I found to do this is it helps if you have a juicy ink pad, and it works if you dab it. If you rub it like that, it kind of doesn't work as well. But you play with it and you'll see exactly what I mean. And I'm not too worried if the green gets close to the grapes. It's not going to matter. And that's because of the type of stamp set this is. It really works out well. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my very vanilla piece, and I'm going to stamp my grapes right in the center of that. Some of it's going to go off the edge, but most of it's going to be right on this little piece of paper here. And there, isn't that beautiful? Oh, I can't believe it. It always turns out great. I just love this stamp. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm going to do a little bit more stamping. I'm going to bring in this little piece, and I'm going to bring in Versamark and my gold embossing powder. And the sentiment on here, let me show you. Thanks. That's from the Biggest Wish stamp set, and it's that one right there. Thanks. So let's ink this up in Versamark. And I'm going to sprinkle my gold powder on here and heat it up with my heat tool, and wait till you see how pretty it turns out. Can you see it? It's really pretty. I love it. Really pretty on that purple. Okay, let's keep going. So this piece here, I am going to run through the new embossing folder, and it's called the Distressed 3D Embossing Folder. So I'm just going to put this in here and run it through the machine. I wish you could really see this in person, because it adds so much to your projects. It's really a nice embossing folder. And I know you really can't see it, but it's very cool. Okay, so now we're going to kind of put this together. So that very vanilla piece is going to go right on our base of that Mossy Meadow. And then I'm going to attach the stamped piece to the gorgeous grape piece. But before I do that, I have to do one more thing. I want to trim this down, this purple piece, just because it's a little bit bigger than I want it to be. So I'm going to cut off about 1/8 of an inch on the sides and on the top and the bottom. So I really wish they would bring this cutter back, because it's so useful. Okay, so I just cut that down about 1/8 of an inch. It looks blue in my camera, but it's purple. And then I'm going to glue these two pieces together. And I'm going to glue this little ring right there. And then we're going to do some work with our dimensionals. Okay, so that's all glued together. Now I'm going to bring the dimensionals in. We're going to pop this piece up and this piece up right on the front of our wine tag. Okay, now we're just going to place them right on our wine tag. Just like that. Now let me bring in a wine bottle. And kind of just goes just like that. Isn't that nice? And if your friends don't drink, you could always get them a non-alcoholic wine bottle, or there's vinegars, pretty vinegar bottles. You can use this for other things than just a wine bottle. So, what a fantastic way to wrap up our card making week, right? Isn't that pretty? Do you like it? I hope you enjoyed all of these daily tutorials and you found inspiration in all the projects. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share my videos with your crafty friends. I really, really appreciate your support. I appreciate it so much. Well, thanks for joining me this week, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video class. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.